Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. Big thank you to Jill for putting this on. I'll start with this. I'm going to take a different approach because I've always taken a different approach to the passion I've got, which is for the people. For me, this journey started, well, let's just say a long time ago. In 2018, I finished 29 years of corporate, and I spent the next 2,000 hours researching cancer for my wife, who's here tonight. She went through some pretty bad treatments, some pretty harsh times. And for me, what I uncovered, because I'm a wellness coach as well, and what I uncovered about the pharmaceutical industry, and not just that, the cohorts that they exist and their tentacles and where they spread, disgusted me. In March 2020, we went to San Diego, and that was an amazing journey for me. It was one for my wife as well, because we chose a non-Western model. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but she's sitting here tonight as a picture of health, still alive for a tumour that kills most people. So I'm very proud of that. 2020 opened up so much for me. March 2020 opened up so much for me. I was privileged to spend 19 days with specialists with my wife where she was going through her treatment. And they exposed so much information to me. I was blinkered. I was apathetic. I cared nothing for politics. I was one of these idle Australians that said, don't touch me, doesn't impact me. Until I learnt how broken Australia is. Australia right now, we've had 76 years, and I'm going to call out Matt here as an exception. There are some good exceptions in the parliament. I want to be very clear about that. Rennick's another one, Antics another one. George, I've admired George for a while, whatever your preferences. There are some good people doing good things. But I'm going to make a statement tonight. Australia is not lawful, and I want to explain why. And I'm hoping there are some journalists here tonight, and I mean investigative journalists that will actually investigate what I'm going to say tonight. Okay, I want them to, and I want them to prove me wrong. Before I do that, I looked at Australia and I went, I don't like what I see. I lived 17 years with my wife in Victoria under Communist Dan, and it was horrible. It was seriously everything you saw that was true. It was a disgrace. And you can call it Stockholm Syndrome all you want. I didn't realise how left-leaning Victorians were. Not all of them, mind you, and a lot have since seen Daniel Andrews for what he is. And no surprise, the mandates are lifted. We're going to an election 2-2, right? Seriously, it's not that difficult to work out. Australia's $1.5 trillion in debt. 3.5 million Aussies live below the poverty line. This is a resource-rich country, don't forget that. And let's thank Labor and Liberal. Let's thank them too for the Lima Declaration, because Fraser was there when we put ourselves into that in 1975. That demolished our primary industries here in Australia. 90% went offshore. Money, wealth, jobs, technology, innovation, bang, gone to third world countries. You can thank the two-party preferred system for that. We've got 1% of people living on less than $5.50 a day in Australia. Women over 55 is the fastest growing demographic of homelessness in Australia. It is disgusting. That is shame. Thank you. That's exactly what it is. I cannot stand by and watch this happen. So I don't want to be a politician. I've said this before. I didn't want to be, but I wanted to be a people's representative. I'm a wellness coach, and I've been doing this all my life, and I represent people. I listen to people. In the last 18 months, I have saved 3 people from hanging themselves because of what this country has become because of these politicians, and I've had an absolute gutful. I chose the Senate because it is the highest court in Australia. It is the watchdog. I'm a critical thinker. I know the job of senators. I know what they're meant to do because Rod Cullerton is the founder of the Great Australian Party. Love him or hate him. He is a former senator. He knows the Odgers manual back to front. He knows it very well. In 2016, he put a motion, seconded by Jackie Lambie, a current sitting senator, whatever your views of Jackie. Back then, he made a statement which said, the High Court of Australia is not sitting under the Commonwealth of Australia. It is sitting out of jurisdiction. That is a major problem, Australia, a major problem. We are going after the head of the snake. We have policies, they're all aligned to the Australian Constitution. You can check them out. We are big about on-jaw, man. Labor's come out now and said about bringing jobs back. Seriously, you got rid of it with the Lima Declaration. Well, about time. We are all about the Constitution of Australia, which has not been thrown to one side. It is there. It's pulled in as it's required. Motion 163 was approved by the majority of the Senate in 2016, 46-38, I think. That motion called out the High Court. It is not being dealt with today. And Matt's the senator, he might be able to answer this question. It's my understanding that a motion that is passed through the Parliament, it has to be dealt with before any other business in the House. That was 5 years ago, Australia, 5 years ago, and that motion still has not been dealt with today.